So don't set yourself up. Always set your mindset up to be, I'm a queen and I deserve better. I wish I had some of the advice that I give you guys. Everything I'm giving you is stuff that I wish I had. Hey. Sorry, y'all. I was running a little late. I was having technical difficulties. I apologize, but I'm going to wait for you guys to come on in the room. Let's get this Freaky Friday started. Let some people know I'm on live. Let your friends know I'm on live. Let them know I'm ready to discuss this inner sex kitten. I thought this was intriguing. This was totally intriguing for me to cover, so I'm going to go ahead on in it and cover it. I'm going to wait for some more people to come on. If you guys could let your friends know that Ask Auntie Nella is on live, and we got some stuff to discuss. I apologize for my tardiness, you guys, but you know how technology is. It can screw up at the wrong time. But with that being said, we're not going to let that stop this party. We're going to keep this party going. Hey, y'all. Hey, Nay. We're going to keep this party going. I want to also say to you guys, too, if you can go to my Ask Auntie Nella YouTube channel, YouTube, and subscribe to my YouTube. I do download these videos on there as well for my YouTube channel. So what you don't see, if you don't get a chance to see it on Facebook, you definitely can go to my YouTube channel. And at some point, I'm going to transition over to the YouTube channel as well. So I want you guys to stay in the know and be in the know. Hey, Risha. Hey, Scott. Hey, Tracy. Hey, sister-in-law. So with that being said, let's get into this. I know a lot of people thought when I decided to do channeling your inner sex kitten. I know a lot of people thought, and I want to hear I want you guys to reply in the comments what you guys originally thought it was. I know a lot of people thought that it might have been on the tip of, freaky deaky or all that. It can be, but one of the things I want to say about, and I want to do it on Freaky Friday because it can go both ways. So channeling your inner sex kitten is not just about sex. It's not just about, channeling your, what to be sexy. It comes along with a lot of other things. It comes along with your confidence. It comes along with you feeling sexy no matter what the world thinks, because it's your inner. It's your channeling your inner sexiness. And so that's the thing. And I think a lot of us, even, being in a marriage for such a long time, we can kind of lose that inner, sex kitten. Hey, sister-in-law, we can use that. Hey, Miss White, how are you? We can lose that inner sex kitten. And by losing that, that takes away from us, channeling and connecting into our, inner sex kitten. One of the things I will say is channeling into your inner sex kitten is first you have to channel into yourself, and you have to work on yourself to determine what I'm pleased with and what I'm not pleased with. And the things that you're not pleased with, then you need to address those things. And then once you address those things will allow you to be, sexy. So, one of the things is, how sometimes you can have like, you can be, with your mate or your partner, and you just don't know how to move. You just don't know what to do. You don't know how to feel yourself because you don't feel sexy about you. And so if you don't feel sexy about you, then how is it that you're going to have that confidence? And when it comes to that, when it comes to channeling that inner sex kitten then you could have the raunchiest lingerie on, the raunchiest outfit on for your mate, and you could feel sexy as hell. Some people take wearing lingerie and looking good for their mate or their partner. Some people feel like that's, putting them on the line of being, a tramp, or, being a prostitute, or it's always bad thoughts that come along with it. It's like that taboo move of, people like, well, I don't want to do this in the bedroom. I don't want to dress up. I don't want to pretend. No, it's not about that. You have to be confident in who you are. In order to connect and connect with your sex kitten, you have to be confident in who you are. Because if you're not confident, then how are you going to portray that message onto you? Hey, Arnetta, how are you? That's the thing that people have to realize. It comes along with a lot of things, and it may take some time, because just put yourself in the mindset of, if I have on lingerie, I have on the cutest lingerie, and it's not all about what your body looks like. It's not all about what wearing. It's about how you feel. So I could have the best body in the world, the best face in the world, and have on lingerie and still don't feel sexy. And that's the part that's important. That's where your sex kitten, challenge your sex kitten, where you need to connect with that. Because the sex kitten is a confident woman. Challenge your sex kitten is a woman who's confident in who she are, pleased in what she brings to the table, and she's not afraid to bring it to the table. And so that's the thing where I'm going to say that's where it's important for you to make sure you're challenging your sex kitten and challenging it all the right way. It's not all about, the other thing is, once you figure out that you've challenged your sex kitten and you become a better you, it makes the process easy for you and your partner. It makes the process much more better. You don't have to, how I hear this a lot. Somebody said to me, not even a week ago, they were like, sometimes I just don't want to, do anything. And so I kind of fake the funk. And so my thing is this: when you haven't connected with who you are and you haven't channeled your sex kitten, then you're faking the funk. You're faking the funk because you're not confident in who you are, so you can't give 100% to them. You can't give them 100%. And what I mean, I don't just mean on a sex level. I mean on all levels. Because sexiness comes on all levels. Sexiness is just not about sex. And that's what people connected with. Oh, sex. It's not about, sexiness is not all about sex. Sexiness, listen, you could be with your mate, and you and your mate could be sitting side by side. And y'all could have intimacy without having intercourse, without having sex. That's the other thing that's important. Everything is not all about, I'm just going to have sex. That's what's important. No, it's important to have intimacy too. Intimacy is something that's important to have in a relationship. And that's the part where that when you could have intimacy with your mate without having sex, then you'd have made it a long ways. That means that you're connecting with who you are. Rather than numb your feelings of your intersex, of your challenge your inner kitten, it's okay for you to do what you need to do to be happy. And that's the part that's important. That's the part that allows you to be pleased in all aspects of your life. I hear a lot of people say to me often, well, no, I'm not going to do that in the bedroom. No, we shouldn't do that. No, listen, if you and your partner agree, if y'all agree upon whatever you decide to agree upon, then it's okay for you to choose the route of, what, I may not want to do this, but I'm doing it because I want to please my husband, or I'm doing it because I want to please my wife. That to me, where growth comes in, confidence comes in, and you've realized, okay, I finally channeled my, sex kitten. Now let's get to channeling this sex kitten a little deeper. So a lot of times people tend to worry about how they look. They focus on stuff that's unnecessary in the process of when they're with their partner, them and their partner is in an intimately setting, and they decide, okay, I'm gonna please him he gonna please me. You could do everything right. You can hit all the bells and whistles. But I promise you, the sexiest thing on a woman is confidence and knowing her body. Women, there's women currently today, I mean grown women currently today, have not had an orgasm. I said it. There's currently today, there's women who have not had an orgasm. And for me, I'm blue. Because how is it that in this day and age, you haven't had an orgasm? And I'm going to say for that is because you haven't challenged your sex. You haven't channeled your inner sex kitten. You need to know your body. You need to know what you need to bring to the table. Because there's going to be a point in life that when you're in a relationship, that man don't know your hot spot. But you need to know your hot spot, beloved. You need to know your hot spot. You need to know that, okay, I know what I want. I know what I need for me to make my sex life get to the peak of where I need to be. But if you don't know what's your hot spot, if you don't know what you like, if you don't know what you dislike, if you don't simply know where your clit at, and some people, I'm just going to say it. We grown. If you don't know where your clit at, then something ain't right. Because how you going to get to your peak when at the end of the day, you don't know your own body? It's important for you to know your body in order for somebody to please you. No different than it's important for him to know his body in order for somebody to please him. It's important for you to be like, well, no, I don't like that. Okay, move over a little bit. No, right there. You're going to have that when you get into a relationship. You're going to have that for the simple fact is he don't know you. He don't know what turns you on. He doesn't know what turns you off. He doesn't know that. And so for me, it's okay for you to be honest, at the end of it and say, you know what? I think we missed the boat. And you can't just say, I think they missed the boat. You have to say, we missed the boat. You know why we missed the boat? Because one, you wasn't connecting with who you are. You wasn't at the point to know this is exactly what I need. And I'm going to guide you right into that. Nothing wrong with guiding them. They got a lot of men who don't know which direction to go. Or they're just fumbling, like I always say, they throw the football and they just fumble all night. No, you're not about to fumble and frolic. Nope, we're not about to do that. We're going to make this session a session that's important. And so knowing what you like, knowing what you want to do, being okay with doing it, and getting to your peak at the end. That's what you want. You want to be able to get to the peak in order for you to reach your climax. You want to. Just like they want to, you want to too. It's necessary. It's necessary. It's necessary for a woman to get to her climax. No different than it is necessary for a man to get to his. Because here's the thing. I want you guys to go back a little bit and think, and I know I'm not the only one who probably have dealt with this. Think about a time that, you was patient and you was waiting. Like, oh yeah, I know we gonna, get it on and, things gonna just go just the way we want it to go. And you don't reach your climax. You don't get none of that. They fine, they done got theirs, but at the end of the day, you don't reach yours. That's for me a numbing feeling. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because at the end of the day, I feel like I waste your time, but I waste my time. Because what that is no different than I know I need X, Y, and Z from the store. I'm going to drive to the store because I need it, right? I get to the store, the doggone store closed, and there's no other stores. You mad as hell. You are mad as hell. But you also have to accept responsibility, no different than the man accepting responsibility. Because what we do to ourselves is we put so much weight on the man for the man to get us to our peak or get us to, our climax, we put the weight on them. But we hold responsibility too. We grown. We know what we want and we know how we want it. So it's no different. Now, I don't want y'all to think I'm just doing channeling your inner sex kitten up for just women. I'm doing that for tonight. But in 2 weeks when I do the next Freaky Friday, I'm going to have a male guest on here who's going to discuss theirs. Because I think when it comes to males, male men carry an ego. And they carry an ego for being macho and hard. And they want you to tell them how I did. Did I pop that cherry? Did I pop that cherry? And sometimes us as women like to streak their ego. Like, yeah, you did. But then when you think about it, you're like, nope, you missed the mark. You missed the mark. So it's important if at the end of the day, it did not go the way you expected to go, but we both have to hold some responsibility. I'm going to read something to you guys. So to define a sex kitten is strongest. They're the most confident, but here's the topper. They're the best version of them. You can't have a good marriage, relationship, household without having a good sex life. Anybody who know me know that I constantly say this. I'm always saying it. Listen, if you can't bring something good to the table, and this me, everybody's different. You can't bring something good to the table. I can't be in no marriage no long amount of time with nobody, and they're not bringing the heat. If y'all know what that means, they're not bringing the heat, because what that does is that creates animosity. But here's the other topper. It creates a woman or a man to start looking outdoors for something else. And that's what you don't want to do. That's why it's important to work on you and make sure you've learned how to tap into your inner sex kitten. Because if you've learned how to tap into your inner sex kitten, everything else falls in place. Along with your marriage, listen, sex for me is the top 2 things. I'm going to say the top 3 things that's important. It's plain and simple. It's just important for you to know your body. You have it where, I'm going to give y'all a scenario. So you and your mate, you just met him or whatever, say like 2 months, 3 months, because we ain't going to say you did it the first night. We ain't going to do that. But what we going to say is, y'all decided because y'all grown, y'all going to do the do. So one of my pet peeves is, so how when, and this is the part to me that's really funny, because you have to let people know when they're not pleasing you. Because if you don't, then they're going to think that it's okay, and they're going to continue to do the things, and it's just going to irritate you and irritate. So how when foreplay is coming along and they're like, nibbling on your ear, biting on your neck, kissy here, kissing there, they're nibbling on your breast, but they suck a little bit too hard, they bite a little bit too hard, or they decide to go down. Some people ain't equipped to do oral. Some people ain't equipped to do oral. And what I mean by that is, you could have a person down there that's doing oral will make your oral experience miserable. It will make your oral experience miserable. That's the thing for me that, what? If you decide that you gonna go down, I understand everybody ain't a pro at it. But man, you got to understand there's sensitive spots down there. The clit is very sensitive. And so if you going to go down there, you better know what the hell you doing. Don't be biting. Don't be pinching. Don't be doing all that extra stuff. And you are right, Ms. White. Ms. White, I don't like no 2 humps and a swirl and we done. 3-minute man, I'm not going to waste my time with a 3-minute man. Because we both going to be mad, hot, sweaty, mad. And the other thing is, I'm not going to waste my time when you itty bitty. You know, you hear some people tell me this all the time. Well, Nella, you know, you got to understand, you know, everybody ain't well endowed and, you know, blah, blah. They got other things, you know, that they can do. Yeah, they got other things that they can do. But if their stick shift ain't controlling the room a little bit, I ain't trying to say, you know, you got to control the room like big. I mean, I ain't saying that. But you got to have some length to it in order to be able to please. There's men who have length to it, but can't do nothing with it. Can't do nothing with it. Again, that's a waste of time too. And that's why, just like us as women need to know our inner sex kitten, it's important for men to know their inner mandingo. It's very important for them to know their inner mandingo. Because if you don't know your inner mandingo, and I don't know my god doggone inner sex kitten, we two fools in the bed following around wasting our time. Because you ain't gonna you ain't gonna get me to my climax, and I'm sure not gonna get you to your nut. Point blank and period. So why am I wasting my time? Listen, I'm okay. I'm okay to be able to say something, you know, be able to say, you know, that's not it. You need to move over. I'm okay with that. But listen, I ain't got to tell you that every time we decide to do something. Hey, cousin, how are you? I don't have time for me. If I done told you the things that I dislike or like after 1 or 2 times, and you haven't caught on, then what that tells me, 2 things. Either you're all about yourself and pleasing yourself and just humping around, getting you a nut and you fine, right? If you are willing to please that woman, you know her hot spots. You know it's going to make her go crazy. You know it's going to make her feel good. Listen, if somebody out there have never in their life, and I'm talking to women, have never in their life reached a climax, baby, you don't know what you're missing. When I tell you you done reached the mountaintop, you done reached the mountaintop. You got to get to that point in order to make sure. Sex ain't all about, okay, I'm just going to do it because you want me to do it. I'm just going to give it to her because she want me to give it to her. I'm just going to give it to him because he want. One, you got to be willing and wanna. You got to be willing and want to do it. Because if you're willing and want to do it, then I feel, and I could be wrong, I could totally be wrong, but I'm going to say for me, I feel like if I go into a session where I don't want to do it, or I'm not willing to do it, then the problem I run into is I'm never going to give my all. I'm not going to give 100%. I'm not going to do the things I need to do to please me as well as pleasing them. The other important thing too is a lot of women feel like at the end of the day, it's not my place to please me. It's my spouse. If I have a husband or a partner, it's their place to please me. Don't play yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with you taking some time and pleasing yourself. There's taboo around women pleasing themselves or men pleasing themselves. There's also taboo around people, you know what, I'm married, so I don't want to bring toys to, you know, the bedroom. I don't want to bring all this extra stuff to the bedroom. Do y'all know what foreplay is? Foreplay is the thing that allows you to get your juices flowing, before you get to the peak. Before you get to the mountaintop, baby. That's the thing about the foreplay. The foreplay allows you to get your juices flowing, get you relaxed, all those other things. Nope, you're welcome to ask, cousin. Anything you want to ask, you're welcome to ask. Nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's completely wrong with you pleasing yourself if you want to. There's nothing wrong with it. If you want to please yourself, then that's fine. And I'm glad that you said that, cousin, because there's a lot of men who are afraid because they feel like the toys is taken away from them. That's their thought process. They feel like the toys taken away from who they are as a man. The problem for that is that's an ego. And that ego has no confidence. In order for you to be okay for your wife to please herself, then you got to be a strong man. You got to have confidence, knowing that she doing it, but you know what? It's a sign of foreplay. It's a sign for both of us to enjoy it, not just her. And it's okay for you to engage. It's okay for you to engage. I'm not saying engage with the sense of you using the toys on yourself. I'm not saying that. That's by choice. That's your choice. But there's toys for men, there's toys for women. And there's every size, every color, anything you want. Another thing people are terrified of, and I think it causes them to lose or haven't connected within their channel, their inner sex kitten, is a lot of times, some people like, well, I don't like to watch, flicks, or I don't like to watch, movies. You know what I'm saying? I that's not, what I like to do, and that's fine. That's fine if that's what you don't like to do. But if your marriage or your relationship is one-sided, it becomes difficult. It becomes difficult because you have an itch that needs to be scratched, but nobody there to scratch it. And so you could suppress that itch for however long you want to suppress that itch, but I promise you, it's going to come back up. They may not scratch that itch, but you're going to find yourself finding somebody to scratch that itch. If you have a partner who's terrified or not willing to try some things, try and connect and find out why. Because here's the other thing. They may have had a bad experience. We don't know that. There's people who have choices in life that they don't choose some things, and that's fine. But for me, I'm a picker. I need to pick and pry. And I need to pick and pry because you just can't tell me no, and I'm going to take your no and be okay with it. You just can't do that to me because I want to understand why. And at that point, if you give me a reason why, I have to respect it. I have to respect it, plain and simple. If your mate or your partner is not willing to go there, you need to find out why. Doesn't mean they may not go there, later on in the relationship. It just means that they're not ready. Plain and simple. Meaning they're not ready to be able to do the things that you want to do. You may be moving a little bit too fast. Some people, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, somebody had said that we were talking about oral or not, and somebody said, well, what if they're just, doing it and you're not? And I'm like, that's crazy, y'all, because here's why it's crazy. You're pleasing them or they're pleasing you, but you're not getting nothing in return. If we gonna do this oral thing, baby, we gonna do this oral thing on both ends. I'm a bobblehead you, and you gonna fall flat into my patty pie. I said it. I'm a bobblehead you, and you gonna fall flat into my patty pie. And so that's the thing that I think you have to have that conversation. And Tovaz Hato says some people don't want to try new things. Some people don't want to try new things. And what I said a few minutes ago is, if your mate says they're not ready to do some stuff, then for me, I need to understand why. You just can't tell me no and give me a hard no, and I'm not going to come back and ask you, well, I understand you don't do it, but can we chat about it and see, maybe why? It doesn't, you don't want to do it, because they could have had a bad experience. The sad part about it is people can have bad experience, but they suppress the bad experience and they don't want to do it in the next relationship or the next marriage, because at that point they had such a bad experience prior to. But I ain't your other wife, ex-wife. I ain't your other ex-girlfriend. I'm me. I bring a different vibe to the table. I bring a whole new mood to the table. And so for you to shut me down or suppress me from being who I am because of the bad experience that you had, then that's unfair to you and that's unfair to me. And I feel like you're missing out on an opportunity. You're missing out on an opportunity to have a great sex session. And that's the hardest part is you want to make sure you're connected with who you are. So when you decide to do the darn thing, you confident. You confident in being able to do exactly what you want to do. Baby, be confident with putting on a nice raunchy lingerie with, some nipple tassels. You can put them on, put you some nice high heels on, and don't forget to put that red lipstick on. I don't know, something about that red lipstick. Something about that red lipstick will get guys all the time. I just don't know what it is. I just don't know what it is. It's something about that color. It's vibrant. And so that's the kind of sex that you want to create in your bedroom. You want to create some confidence in yourself. You definitely want to know your body because you can't tell nobody if they're in the right spot and getting you to your climax if you don't know. You can't tell them, oh, rub my clit when you don't know. You don't know that. That's the part that's important. Listen, I'm not gonna say this to y'all that I learned this like right away. I instantly learned and I knew what I was doing. No, there was some trials and tribulations through it all. But just like I had to learn, my husband had to learn. Just like you got to learn, your husband or your spouse or your partner has to learn. We all in this game together. And you can't be in a longevity marriage or relationship, y'all, without elevating your game. Elevate your game. Nothing's wrong with elevating your game. I'm gonna give y'all a challenge. There's Valentine's Day that's coming up, right? I want you guys to channel your inner sex kitten. And what I mean is be confident in what you decide to do. Be confident in what you're gonna do. Get you some lingerie, drop you some rose petals, have some candles lit, have your wine with your wine glasses, all those things. Set it up. Set it up because what you're doing is you're setting up the mood. And when you set up the mood, it creates a good end to it all. And so if you're willing to go that extra mile, to make sure that I want him to know, that I love him. I want him to know that I'm going to go that extra mile to make sure I'm getting him to his, peak as well as he getting me to my peak. Don't be selfish in a relationship or a marriage when it comes to sex. Because if you are selfish, meaning one-sided, you hurt yourself. Because in the end, what you do is you create a culture in your head that it's okay for me to get mines. As long as I get mines, I ain't worrying about nobody else. That means you haven't connected with your inner sex kitten. That means you're not confident with who you are. Because if you're confident with who you are, when that process happens, both of y'all pleased on both ends. So you got to forgive yourself for the past things that may have happened when it came to sex. I'm going to say to a woman out there that have decided, you know what? I had such a bad experience because I decided to let my longtime boyfriend go down on me and he just kept biting my clit. So I'm not doing it no more. Just because he did it, boo. That don't mean the next man won't do you right. So it's important for you to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing. Listen, if you in a situation, and You and your partner doing the thing and he decided he won't fall flat into your patty pie and he biting your clit. Listen, ain't nothing wrong with just tapping him on the head. Look, you bite a little bit too hard. Go a little soft. No. Jump. No. You got to let them know. Because if you don't let them know, some men think that women like that. Some men think that women like being aggressive. Some men think that. No, pat them on their head. Ain't nothing wrong with pat them on their head to identify with them and say, look, you done bit my clit too many times. I ain't going to be able to walk tomorrow, brother. That's a sensitive spot. Let you do oral on them and you bite them too hard, oh, you gonna know. You gonna know. They gonna let you know. So it's important for you to let them know. Listen, the clit is sensitive. It is sensitive and handle it accordingly. It has a sticker on that said fragile. It ain't said bite it till you can bite a piece of it off. It ain't say suck it until it's gone and it's dry and it's raw. It ain't said that. If a man do that and they do it right, ain't no way around. Ain't no way around you not enjoying it. If you laying in that bed and he hitting that clit right and he done fell into your patty pie and you ain't squirming and it don't feel good, something ain't right, y'all. Something ain't right. That means you haven't allowed yourself to be confident and be able to accept it. Be able to accept that process. Be able to accept that, you know what? I'm going to try something new. I may not like it for the first time, but I'm going to try 1 or 2 or 3 times before I just completely take it off. You have to be willing. A relationship and a marriage is you have to be willing to work. And you have to be true to who you are. I'm true to who I am. I don't have a problem walking up to my husband and saying, I want to, you know what, tonight. I don't have a problem with saying that. Because that's me being confident in knowing what I want and what I need. And you going to give it to me. That's me being confident in that. You don't have to be raunchy about it. You don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to be none of those things. But what you can be is direct and firm. Like, look, we ain't had sex in 2 days, which I think that's a long time. But anywho, that's on another subject. We ain't had sex in 2 days. What we gonna do? Nothing's wrong with you walking up to him and asking him. That's because you're confident with who you are. You're okay with who you are. I may have flaws in the bed. You know what I'm saying? You may have flaws in the bed. But if you don't take the opportunity to channel who you are and identify to who you are, baby, they're going to be running rapid up in your coochie. And I mean rampant. And you ain't getting nothing out of it. I mean, it's just going to be like the doggone bunny just running. Duracell bunny. Batteries on all the time. And you just laying there. It's over with. You tired the hell out. But what you tired out for? Not because you had a good sex session. It's because he wore you out in all the wrong ways. He was moving too fast. He was flipping you all upside down. He done watched too much something on TV and feel like the best sex is hitting it hard. How you think that feel, baby? What you think? Bam, 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 bam. Listen, that's not the way to go. You got to be willing to tell him, you know what? Let's slow it down a little bit. So you can enjoy and I can enjoy. Because you're going to wear yourself out, boo. And neither one of us ain't going to get nothing out of this session. I mean, nothing. Nothing out of this session. I'm going to go to bed mad as hell. And you going to go to bed happy because you reached your climax. But I'm still struggling because I ain't even got there. If you're dealing with a real man and if you're dealing with a real woman, the both of you are willing to make sure each partner is pleased by the end. That's what it's all about. You want to make sure your partner is pleased as well as you are pleased. Because if that's not the case, that's where Creepville come in. And what I mean by Creepville is, I mean, he gonna find somebody to scratch that itch, or you gonna find somebody to scratch that itch. And here's the interesting thing about it. The one person who show you a little genuine attention, oh, you gon' head first in. Because that's part of you not allowing yourself to be confident and letting him know, here's what I need from you. Here's what I want. Here's what you're not doing. Nobody is perfect. People should be able to take criticism. I'm 52 years old. I'll be 53 in September. And I don't have a problem with somebody coming to me and saying, hey, honey, I think, you didn't do that right. Or, honey, I think we should try it a little bit. I can't let my ego get involved. Because when you let your ego get involved, then you're going to destroy your sex vibe. And what I mean by destroying your sex vibe is, now you got a problem that when sex time comes, you mad because he co-check you on something he ain't like. And you feel like, well, I let him do stuff to me all the time. And he be doing it wrong, but I don't tell him nothing. Who do you need to hold responsible for that? You need to hold yourself responsible. Make your sex sessions count. Make them count. And as your relationship move up, make sure your bedroom games move up. You can't continue to be with no one, and I mean no one. You can't continue to be with them if it's the same thing. If it's the same thing. Who wants to have do the same position? You won't just lay on your side and then he on the side and he pumping, that's it. You ain't allowing yourself to reach your climax and know your hot spots. It's important for you to know your hot spots, so when they hit that spot, you can say, you just hit the right spot. It's important for you because either your body language is going to change, your tone's going to change. He's going to know that he's hit a spot that you like. That's the thing that's important. You need to be able to share those things to make sure. And so don't ever be unapologetic and like, you know what? I ain't going to say I'm sorry because, he didn't do good the other night and that's on him. No, I promise you, you cannot, under any circumstances, have a long relationship. I ain't going to say relationship. I'm going to say a long sex life. You can have a long, vibrant sex life without being willing to accept some things. He's bringing some things to the table that he has to address, and you bring some things to the table that you have to address. So make sure that you have figured out what's important to you when it comes to sex, why is important to you, and some of the things that you're not willing to try and why. And the reason why I say that is because it's important for you to let your partner know. It's truly important for you to let your partner know. I choose not to do oral because I was doing oral, with my partner before you. And so I was doing it right, but for some reason, he felt the nerve to make me gag. So I won't do that no more. I don't ever want that experience ever again. That's you defeating the process before you start with your new partner. You could go into it with saying, you know what, my last partner I had, he did something in oral that I just don't like. And so because I don't like it, I'm choosing not to do it. And if that man loves you enough and care enough about you, what he would say to you is this: well, I ain't that other man, boo. I'm somebody totally different. Let me take one shot at it. Let me take one shot at it. And me taking that one shot at it, and you don't want it no more, and I'm not pleasing you, then you have the right to tell me, and I'm backing off. I'm going to back off from it. Because I want to make sure every step I take, I'm pleasing you, but I'm also pleasing you in the right way. Because if you're not being pleased in the right way, then what you're doing is you're not even checked in when it comes to sex. You're just going through the motions. Going through the doggone motions is the worst. It's energy you're losing that's unnecessary, that you're not creating anything out of it. Listen, I know that it's going to be times where when sex happens, it's going to be some good ones, some good days, and it's going to be some bad days. And I'm okay. I'm okay. Because we're human. I'm okay with that. But what I'm not okay with is I'm checked into a sex session and we doing our thing and I ain't enjoying it at all. I'm looking in the ceiling. I'm trying to count apples. I'm trying to figure what I'm going to cook tomorrow for dinner. I'm trying to figure everything. I'm writing a grocery list down in my head while you got my head hitting the headboard. Bam, 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 bam. I'm got all this stuff going on. I'm thinking I'm going to have a whiplash when it's over. That's what I'm thinking, because you just doing your thing. You just doing your thing. That part is not healthy in a marriage. That part is not healthy in a relationship. Know what you're getting yourself into. Don't let anybody stop you from channeling your inner sex kitten. Your inner sex kitten, and I'm going to say this again, it's not all about sex. It's about being confident in who you are, being strong, and knowing who you are. Because if I'm confident, I'm strong, and I know who I am, I have a lot to offer. I have a lot to offer when it comes to the bedroom. When it comes to the bedroom, if those three things, I'm strong and I'm confident, and I know my body, I have a lot to bring to the table. And that's the part that's important. Stop sitting around here and doing stuff just because you figure like, I've been with him for, 10 years and he wants something, so I'm going to give him some. I'm just not into it. Come on now. That's not fair to him, and that's not fair to you. The other thing I'm going to say to y'all, and this goes for women and men and women. Stop faking the funk. Stop faking the funk. Stop faking the funk. Stop laying in that bed, moaning and groaning and lying. Oh yeah, that feel good. Yeah, baby, right there. You lying. You lying. But you're not only lying to him, you're lying to you. You have to elevate your game when it comes to your bedroom. Just like in order to have growth in a marriage, you have to have growth in your bedroom. Because if you don't grow in your bedroom, you ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. It's just a hot mess in the bedroom. Just a hot mess. And I agree with you. Hey, Miss Jackie, I agree with you. What it took for them to get you is the same thing it takes to keep you. And that's the thing that I think people fail to realize, is whatever it took for you to get me, do it to keep me. It's nothing wrong with you going back. And the same thing for the woman. It's nothing wrong with you going back and, co-checking your mindset and thinking, what did I do? I just feel like, I'm lost. Go back to some of those things and think of some of those things, what attracted you to him. Think of some of those things that you enjoyed back in the day. Because sometimes you can take stuff out of people's lives, or out of a relationship, or out of the bedroom that you did when you first met him, and it's no longer there. But you didn't realize you missed it, because now I got 5-10 years in the game. I'm just going to keep, I'm going to keep moving long as he, get his and I have to get mine, we fine. No, you got to do everything you need to do to keep them. Everything you need to do to keep them. Sex is just important as making sure you put on the right clothes, making sure you present yourself well to the world, and making sure that you're confident and you can slip on your big girl shoes and be A-okay with your life. Nothing's wrong with that. We tend to, as women, and men can do this too. I'm not going to say women, but I think when it comes to women, we probably deal with it a little bit more than an average man would deal with it. So we tend to lose who we are in a marriage. We tend to lose what we want in a marriage. We tend to lose what we like in a marriage. We tend to lose the things that's important to us in the bedroom in a marriage. And so what we do is, I call that settling. That's settling for a sex life that a 90-year-old husband and wife need to be dealing with. Not somebody that can be able to function and not willing to have a sex life. I had somebody say this to me, and I can't remember, this was years ago, say this to me, and she said, you know what? She said, I don't understand how you always, talking about sex and how you always like sex. She said, man, I can go with never not doing it. My response to her, what you just said? She said, I could go with never not doing it. What? Like, for me, like, like, I was baffled. She said, well, I just don't, I don't like, having sex, and I don't like, doing such and such a thing. And, as long as I do it, once a month, I'm fine. Baby. Y'all, when I tell you my blood pressure went so high, I felt like it was me telling, my husband was telling me, well, I don't feel like, I don't, that's the thought process I had. Like, girl, come on, like, really? Like, and I said, and I had to pause and stop, because I said, are you serious? Like, really? Like, you don't want to do nothing? You don't want to have sex? You don't? No, I'm fine. Once a month. And I don't want to do that, even then. So I just think, like, you have to put yourself in a vulnerable position, because putting yourself in that vulnerable position allows you to turn your sex life over to your partner, or your partner turning his sex life over to you, and know that he's going to do it right. He knows that he's going to do it right. Listen, I wish my husband would come to me and say, you know what? I don't, every time I ask him, he like, if I ask him, he like, no, I don't want to, do it, or, no, I'm tired, I'm this. Something ain't right. Something's not right. Either you're not performing to his peak, sex-wise, or he's disconnected himself from you when it comes to sex. No different than the woman. I'm not just talking about the man. I'm talking about the woman, vice versa. So, listen, every man has an urge. Every woman has an urge. And if you're not willing to fix that urge, something wrong. All right. Hey, Try, how are you, cousin? So, he said, men learn what pleases them at a young age. Women are taught that pleasing themselves is wrong and dirty. That is why. You're absolutely right. And I said that a little bit earlier, that the problem for women is, when it comes to that, they feel like it's the man's job to please them. No different than dressing up in sexy lingerie, putting on, sexy lingerie, make your face up, putting on your high heel shoes. They feel like that's stylish behavior. And we have to get out that, y'all. We have to be able to get out, because it's not just, listen, a man struggle already trying to keep up with our antidotes. Because we require a lot when it comes to sex. We require a lot when it comes to life. Sometimes I'm be honest, we can be over the top. But we have to be vulnerable and willing to lay into the position and allow them to get you to where you need to be. Use things to be able to get you to your peak. Use things to be able to get your juices flowing. I was talking to, I want to say this was like maybe a year ago, I think, when I shared this on one of my lives. And I had said, somebody had asked the question, well, oral gets kind of boring because you're doing the same thing. If oral is boring to you, then you need to find a way to spice it up. Just like if you go in your closet and you're like, all these clothes in this closet, Lord, I'm sick and tired of wearing, I don't like, you go out shopping and find a new outfit, right? Create a new outfit for your oral sessions. Nothing's wrong with you bringing oils to your sessions. Nothing's wrong with you bringing fruit to your session. Nothing's wrong with you bringing whipped cream. I said it, whipped cream to your session. Nothing's wrong with that. You have to be confident in knowing who you are to know the thought process that you're allowing to creep in your head is statish material, is a tramp, is a slut, is a prostitute, or I'm just being plain old nasty dirty. No, that's not it. You have to allow yourself to be vulnerable to your mate, just like your mate have to allow himself to be vulnerable to you. And just like I'm sharing this process with you guys on here, I'm going to do the same thing when I do in 2 weeks. I'll be doing the one for the men, connecting with your mandingo, because it's important for men to be vulnerable as well. Men carry such a macho ego till sometimes when it comes to the bedroom, that macho ego can turn us off. It's not all about ramming my head into the headboard. It's not all about making me have whiplash. Take your time. Enjoy the moment. That's what people have to realize. There's nothing wrong with enjoying that moment. Nothing's wrong with it. And that's fine. That's fine. If, I share, Miss Jackie, there are some people who choose not to do it. That's fine. But the thing I say is, if you choose not to do it and your partner's okay with it and you're okay with it, then that's fine. There's some people who just plain old simple don't like it, and that's okay. There's some things that some waters I know I will never charter. I will never charter when it comes to my bed, when it comes to stuff in the bedroom. And one of the things I will never charter is, and I'm going to tell y'all this, and people could choose to take it however they want to take it. And I'm going to tell you why. I know, and I said this when we did the threesomes, when we did the threesome or not. I will never, ever, ever, and I'm confident in saying it, I will never bring another woman to my bedroom. Never. I'm not doing no threesome. And I'm going to tell y'all why. I shared it in that video. I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs already. I ain't got time to be at this age in my life to go to jail from busting somebody up in their doggone head. Because listen, the first time we in that threesome, and he go to moaning when he doing something with the other one, baby, I don't even, listen, my desire to do the threesome is out the window. Because I'm selfish like that. And I'm okay with being selfish like that when it comes to my man. You and me and you. Not no you and me and she. No, she is me and you. Only me and you. I'm not about to do that. So that's why it's important to know what you will do and what you won't do. What you like and what you won't like. It's important to make sure you know that. When I was younger, I wish somebody told me, when it comes to your marriage, the first 5 years is a struggle. Because the first 5 years was brutal. It was brutal. Because there was a lot of things I had to learn about myself that I didn't know. One of the things I had to learn about me is I had the mindset of thinking, you know what? I'm not about to be submissive to you. I'm not to be submissive to you because you don't tell me what to do. I work, I make money too. I bring all this stuff in the household and blah, 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 blah. I had to learn. I was clueless, y'all. I was clueless to understand that being submissive is not having my husband tell me to do things he wouldn't do. I tell him to, do things. It's allowing me to allow him to be the man and the head of the household. He's the man and he's the head of the household. Doesn't mean I should be belittled in the process and be submissive. That's not what it means. That's not what it totally means. It means for you to allow him to be a man. The one thing you don't ever want to do is take a manhood from him. Because any woman who's with a man and they're taking his manhood from him, they ain't gonna last long, y'all. They ain't gonna last long. And that doesn't make you confident, and it doesn't mean you've connected with your inner sex kitten. Because remember, you have to be confident in all aspects of your life. And if you're choosing to beat him down, then you're not helping your own cause. You're not helping yourself. You're not helping, what you need to do when it comes to your mate. That's the part. So I'm going to wrap it up, but I want to wrap it up with this. If y'all take nothing else from this conversation, channeling your inner sex kitten means to be the best version of you that you can be. If you can't be the best version of you, you need to work at being the best version of you. That's the part that's important. So next time I come on, what I'm going to do, I have to tell you guys this. I'm working on my book. I'm almost finished. And so I want to be able to share with you guys, because I want us to do this 30-day challenge. And the 30-day challenge is for you to be able to connect back to you. It's important for us. You could be in a marriage. It's not just for singles. It's for married couples too. Because you can be in a marriage for a long time. You could be in a relationship for a long time. And you lose who you are. You lose your identity. It's important for us to lose our identity in no relationship. And so I want to, that's one of the things I want to make sure that we find places and times to be able to connect to us and make us a better us. And so that's what's important. I appreciate you guys coming on tonight. I'll see you guys next week, next Tuesday. And next Tuesday is going to be Let's Chat with Auntie Nella. And then I won't do Freaky Friday. That one, Freaky Friday, will be the next week. And so I'll be putting stuff out there for you guys to let you guys know what we're going to discuss for next week. But I want you guys to do me a favor before I leave. Send me some hearts and feel free to inbox me and let me know some topics that you want me to discuss. So we can discuss some of those topics that I think that's important. I'm okay with, listen, if you got a topic that raunchy and you afraid to send it my way, don't be afraid. Send it my way. Because I said this and I'll continue to say it. If you ask me the question, I'm going to give you the answer straight and direct. But I love you guys. Have a fabulous weekend. For anybody on here that's not in Minnesota, you guys enjoy your weekend. Minnesota is going to be freezing cold this weekend. I think by Monday, the wind chill is going to be -14. I know. Cold. And it's a shell shocker because it hasn't been that cold in a while. So I got to get used to my body getting acclimated back to the cold, because I walked out and I was like, oh, Jesus. But anywho, I love you guys to life. Have a good night. Have a great weekend, okay?